Start recording. Okay, well, thank you all for coming. This is All Things Apple SIG. We meet regularly on Zoom the third Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. Joe tonight's going to talk about using your camera on your iPhone or iPad to identify plants, flowers, and landmarks. Kurt's going to talk about customizing your Mac settings, and I will talk about how to make memojis to personalize your iMessages. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe now.
Okay, thank you all again for coming. I want to talk about some of the really neat things that your camera can do. And these actually came out with iOS 15. So it's been around for a while, but a lot of people really didn't know about it. There's lots of different apps out there, commercial apps that you can get to identify plants, animals, and things like that, places. But you don't need to do that because it's all available right now in your iPhone camera. And what I'm going to do now is show you how you can do that. If you want to try and follow along with a picture, you might open a picture on your phone of a plant or a landmark, a particular building or something. Anyway, I'm going to demonstrate. In this demonstration, I'm going to have to do it with my with screenshots because what I do on the camera doesn't flow across through Zoom, but you will still get the idea very well. So I'm going to start sharing right now, hopefully. Okay, here we go. Here's a picture of a leaf. A lot of you probably know what it is, but when you have this on your camera, you open your iPhone camera and your photos, you open your photos and you find a picture like this. All you have to do is take your finger and touch on the picture and swipe up. And when you do that, you'll get a screen that looks like this. And if the camera is able to recognize it, it recognizes that a plant. It'll put a little icon up here that says it thinks it knows what it is. Now, when you're on this screen, it also gives you some other information that may be important to you, the day you took it, the time you took it. And when you download your pictures to your computer or something, they always have a number on them, IMG something. But here's what that number would be if you downloaded it. Now, it also will tell you what kind of camera you used, if it can, and some identification about how the picture was taken. And then underneath there, you don't see the whole thing. Here's a map. It'll show you right where that picture was taken. So now it says it's identified it. So I'm going to click on this little carrot right next to the plant. Hey, Brookie, can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'll use that instead of the little red dot. So I'm going to click on this carrot, and it takes me over to this, and it says it's probably a tulip tree. It could maybe be a sugar maple, but we go up here, and I know it's a tulip tree. It gives a scientific name here, Liriodendron tulipifera, known as the tulip tree, yellow poplar. It's the Kentucky state tree. And so now I know it's identified it. If I want a little bit more information, I'll go right here to this carrot and click on it. And it goes over here and gives me some more information and a picture of the tree. So that's just using your standard camera, nothing special. You don't have to buy anything extra. You don't have to download any apps. It's already there. Let's try another one. Here's a picture I took several years ago. I was out in California in a Japanese garden somewhere, and I don't know where it was. I don't know when I took the picture. I don't know what it is. So let's see if the camera can identify it. I'm going to touch the picture and swipe up, and I'll get a screen like this. It's recognizing it as a landmark. And you notice this little icon that came up here. That's part of the recognition characteristics. And this was taken in February 26, 1922. And here's a map of it down here.
I don't think 1922.
You mean 2022?
I'm older than that. Yeah, give or take 100 years. So anyway, I'll go up here to landmark and click on the caret. Oop, quit. I'll click on the caret.
That's how they did it in 1922.
Right. Thanks for your help, Kurt.
You're always.
Anyway, it recognizes as a Japanese tea garden. And here's similar images that are on the web, not necessarily in the place that this is, but they're very similar. So I go here and click on the caret here or on the go. If I click on the caret, it'll give me this information. It's the 80 Higuera Tea Garden Drive in San Francisco, California. So it was able to look at that picture and go all over the world and find out exactly where I was and the name of that facility. So, and then if I want to click here, it'll give me directions on how to get there. So another example or two here. Here's a picture of a flower. Most of you probably know what it is, but let's see if the camera can identify it. We'll touch the picture and swipe up, and I'll get this screen. It already says, yep, I know it's a plant, and I think I can identify it. Took it not too long ago, and let's go over there and take a look at it. Click on the caret, and it's Hippostratum, which is a genus in the Amaryllis family. So it is an Amaryllis, and it recognizes it and gives you a bunch of information about it. Pretty neat. Another one here is a really, really bad picture. It's a lady slipper, and let's see if you can recognize it. So I swipe up, and you notice here it doesn't have any information down here on this one. And the reason for that is, if you look at the date up here, May 13, 2015, that was back when I was scared to put location services on my phone. I was afraid somebody was going to find me or something. So anyway, it couldn't identify the location because I didn't give it the authority to do that. I've changed that now, so all my photos have the identifying features. So if I swipe up on this one, it recognizes a showy later slipper, Cypripedium regina, which is exactly what it is. I've got an orchid friend that knows them. They said, yeah, that's it. So anyway, it identified it, and I click on this caret, and it'll give me a little more information about it. So this is stuff that's already in your phone. I want you to try it maybe when you get out of this class, but open a picture of a plant, a flower, a landmark, and then swipe up on it and see what you can find. Okay? Any questions about that?
Have you ever found a plant that it was not able to identify, Joe, even though it was a good photo of it?
It will make an attempt to identify it. Well, actually, let me back up. Sometimes if it doesn't recognize it, you won't get that little this little thing here and this little thing here. If it doesn't recognize it, that won't come up.
Does it work with things like cacti in Arizona and stuff like that too?
I haven't been to Arizona for a while, so I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, yes. My brother had a cactus in his on his porch, and he didn't know the name of it, so I took a picture of it, and it came up with something that looked like it. So I'm assuming it was it. So I also tried to get Joe to talk about bugs and dogs and everything. It does that too.
It supposedly we recognize animals, insects, and the like, and you can really impress your friends about how smart you are. Well, let me see what that is. Let me think. Oh, yes.
You all could do your kitties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a diluted torty. I don't know what that is in Latin.
All right. Any other questions about that? But give it a try. Check it out and see what you can find. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay, we're going to turn it over to Kurt now.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to share. Oh, wait a minute. I have to go here and say yes. Turn this on. Sorry. Type in my password because I downloaded a new version of Zoom.
We haven't done Zoom for 2 months, and we just kind of forget all the steps that you have to go. It's like, oh, that's right.
All right, Kurt, we got you.
Wow.
Zoom would like to record this computer screen. Whatever. Okay, do you see my desktop?
Yes.
Okay. I've got some, I hope you don't get motion sickness from this background. I should put on something else. But anyway, you notice I've got some files here. This is a CKCS Ali proposal in Pages. Here's the same thing as a Word document, and you can always tell by the suffix. Here's little Thea, the diluted tortie, looking out from her scratching post upside down at me. That's a JPEG. This is a conversion table that I passed out in several classes. It makes it easy to decipher what you're doing, especially if you're a cook. And this is a JPEG here that I thought was pretty neat. Life and time are the world's best teachers. Life teaches us the use of time, and time teaches us the value of life. I don't know who said that, but he or she was pretty intelligent. But you notice they all have suffixes here. I can't say that. Each file format here has a suffix. So I know right away that's a Word document. That's a Pages document. That's a PNG, which is a graphics format like JPEG or GIF. And here's another JPEG. Well, on the Mac, you can turn off suffixes, I can't say that, if you want. You can turn these off so they don't show. Well, I like to have them on. Here's a file that doesn't have it on. I have no idea what format this is unless I dig into the file because I'm hiding it. And to turn it on, you go up to Finder, click up here on the Finder, you come down to Settings, and of course the Finder is the desktop, the background picture desktop thing. And then you click on Advanced. You've got 4 little icons up here, and you choose Advanced, and then you just make sure you click here, Show All File Name Extensions, and it will appear. And I always do that because I want to know where's the Word version of something, where's the Pages number. I want to see, JPEGs, whatever, PNGs to keep it straight. So you just turn it on by clicking on Finder, coming down to Settings, clicking on Advanced, which is the 4th icon to the right, and just make sure that you have a check mark right here. That's something very easy to do, but a lot of people don't do that. But if you're wondering what kind of file somebody sends you, turn that on, leave it on if you want, and it will put a little suffix on the end of your file name. Another thing on the Mac does not use the structure that Windows uses for hard drive names. They don't use letters of the alphabet. You just call them whatever you want. So when you get a Mac, it's called Macintosh Hard Drive, HD. You can rename it if you want. It doesn't matter. You can call it anything you want. But that's something I always point out to people, that you can change the name if you want. I had a student one time that was really good at losing things on her machine, and she called her hard drive the black hole. She thought that was fitting. So you can rename this if you want. Just click on it, rename it, do whatever you want. One other thing I wanted to show you, this is pretty quick, but I wanted to show you these 2 apps that are actually quite usable. You can get them from the App Store, the Mac App Store. One is called Wi-Fi Explorer. One is called Wi-Fi Signal. And Wi-Fi Explorer basically just shows you all of the Wi-Fi signals that your machine is currently picking up and their strength level. So these are in my neighborhood from this townhome. Here are, and it tells you a lot more than just the signals, but here are all the different Wi-Fi signals that I'm currently receiving. And it tells you what channel they're broadcasting on. So if you're having trouble, but the neat thing is it also shows you the signal strength. So some of my neighbors are coming in pretty strong here, like 70%, 60%. And if you want to troubleshoot where the best place to put a Wi-Fi router in your house is, or wherever you're living, this might be a good way to do it. It also shows most modern Wi-Fis, they have a little antenna, most of them on the top. Most people don't know this, but they're sending out two signals. They're broadcasting two different signals. One is called 2.4 gigahertz. One is 5. 5 is newer. It usually is a better signal, but it doesn't go through stuff as well. Like walls, if you have a router in your basement, you have to go through concrete. It won't travel as well. 2.4, which is older, does a better job with that, but it's more prone to interference from landline phones, cell phones, microwave ovens. So if you're having trouble with your Wi-Fi signal at your home, you might want to check out where your Wi-Fi router is. And this little tool, this little app gives you an idea of maybe problems you're having. Like I'm getting a 92% signal from my TP-Link router. And I'm on channel 153. It's also sending out a 2.4 signal, 2.4 gigahertz, a separate signal, and it's on channel 5, and it's a stronger signal even, 95%. So I choose, because I'm right there by the router over there, in the same room, I choose 5 just because it's newer. It typically is a stronger signal, but not necessarily here it's not. But you can also look at your neighbors and see, my gosh, some of these are like 95%. They're hiding their network, but they have a 95% signal shooting into my place. I don't know, maybe they have the router right up against a wall or something. And you go down and you can look at the different, you can see who makes it. Some of these people hide their router. You can still see it. They hide it, but it doesn't really work all that effectively. You can still see, and it gives you the brand of router that they're using. So anyway, but it's called Wi-Fi Explorer. Finally, there's another app that's very similar. They go together, called Wi-Fi Signal. And it just gives you an idea, gives you a little readout here, the name of your network, whether it's locked, whether it has a password, the signal quality, and what channel I'm broadcasting on, how much noise there is, because there's always noise with these electronic things that are broadcast. And it gives you the speed and the signal. And it's kind of neat to know that stuff if you're trying to troubleshoot a Wi-Fi router in a great big house, a 2-story house, a place with a basement, a place where you can't put the Wi-Fi router in a really central location and beam out everywhere. This kind of gives you an idea of, okay, move it that way. It's a modern way of moving a TV antenna, I suppose. But anyway, that's the 2 programs. One is called Wi-Fi Explorer, and the other is called Wi-Fi Signal, and they're available from the App Store.
Are apps like that available for Windows?
I think so, and they're probably in the App Store. You just have to search for them. Yeah.
So Kurt, can you get that app for your iPad?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, if you have an iOS device, you can either get that or a very similar one. I can do some homework if you want and come up with a list and email you if you want to send me your email address for the names of apps available, because it's really vital, for example, for an iPad. Why can't I get this? Why is my signal so crummy? Well, it's because the Wi-Fi router, it might as well be in another county. You have a huge house and it's way over in the corner. So it's a good troubleshooting app to use, but that's a good question. And a lot of people also have, where I live, my cell phone service is not the best. On one day, it's really strong. The next day, I don't have a very good signal. And I live in this southern part of Lexington. It just depends on where you are and where the tower is and what's blocking what's around you. And cell phone service is still dodgy, just like internet services in America. There are a lot of people that can't get good service in 2023 as opposed to 1922. Golly, you even almost saw the Boers War then, Joe. I'm sorry. I've been reading about the Boers War. It's fascinating. It's awful, but it's fascinating. Anyway. Any questions? There will be no final.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll move on to memojis. If you noticed in the chat room, if you will go there, you should see a document from me that's called How to Make and Use Memojis. So does everybody see that? And you can download it. There's a little, if you'll just hover over it, you can just, actually, I'll need somebody else to tell me what it looks like.
There's a downward point. It shows it up as a Word document, the big W there, and it's got a downward arrow in it, and you click on that, and it'll take you to your browser, and then you can put it in the folder that you choose to.
It looks like all of you are looking at the chat.
I don't see a chat room. I don't know what.
On the bottom of your screen where it says security and participants and polls and chat.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, Mary Lou, are you on the iPad?
No, I'm on a computer.
Okay, wiggle your mouse then and see if you can't see it.
Yeah, Mary Lee, you may have to scroll down. It's typically under the main window. The person's talking. There's underneath. You'll see chat.
There. Okay, I had to click on Brooke.
Oh,
Brookie. Okay.
On Brookie's, it doesn't matter. On Brookie's screen, there are 3 little dots, and when I clicked on it, said chat. So.
Oh, you got there?
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Okay.
Whatever
a different way to get there. There's always more than one way to get there.
Yeah.
The top left corner.
Okay. Great. Okay. Everybody else good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my iPad with you, and we're going to do it on the iPad. The iPhone also does it, and but it's a little bit different. So I'm going to keep it simple and do it on the iPad. If you're on an iPhone, you might try to follow along. Joe did earlier today, and he seemed to do okay. So. Okay. Are you seeing my iPad by any chance?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to just move a few things out of my way so that I can also see it too. Okay. All right. So let's start with, what is a memoji? Okay. It's like an emoji, but it's what Apple has done to make you be able to personalize an emoji that sort of looks like you. So it's kind of like an avatar. And you can use it in iMessages. I haven't been successful in using it in other things. I haven't been able to really use them in email or in Messenger. But you might try it other places, but it does work in iMessages. And so what you see right now on the screen is my my iMessage. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to show you what memojis look like to start with, just so you see what we're making. Okay. What the end product is. And then I will walk you through how to make one of your own. All right. So we're going to start here on the screen. I'm going to get maybe an annotator that's maybe a little bit better. Okay. All right. So when you're in your messages, and as I said, you can just send a message to yourself to make one. All right. So you can be there, or you can be in another message to somebody. But we're going to start here. And then you notice under here, you have all of these icons. And this icon right here is your memoji icon. So I'm going to tap that. And when I tap it, it's going to show you all of memojis that I have made. All right. So these are memojis. All right. I'm going to show you this one right here. So I'm going to tap that one. And you'll notice here I've made that one. And then Apple has put that memoji in a lot of different gestures. So I'm going to swipe up here so you can see all of them. But I don't want to give you Apple Cash. Let's try this again. All right. So they've taken the memoji I made here, and then they've done a lot of different gestures. Okay. So if somebody's messing with you and you want them to stop, you could send an emoji like this. Or if you're sick, feeling sick, you could do that. Or maybe a happy birthday emoji. But these are all the things that they make for you, Apple makes for you, after you've made the basic memoji. All right. Okay. So we're going to start from here. I'm going to go ahead and slide this down. All right. Okay. So to begin with, you are in a text message. You'll actually go to that same step that I said, and you're going to tap on your memoji icon. All right. Then you're going to go over here to your more icon, which are 3 dots. Okay. And when you tap that, you're going to have some options here. And the option that we're going to do is we're going to make a new memoji. All right, so I'm going to tap on that. Okay, this is where you start building your memoji. And you start first with the skin tone. And you go from black to pink. So you can do any of those that you're interested in. I will be conservative and just go with that color. All right, so you notice it's changed my memoji up there. Then I can slide down and I can add freckles. So if you have freckles, you can add freckles. You can change your cheek color. And I'm going to go ahead and change it to this color right here. And when I do that, it gives me the option of making it less transparent, more opaque and more transparent. And then this is where you can see the adjustment for where it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide it up so it's a little bit brighter and you can kind of see it. And then you can be really creative and you can choose other colors. Okay. So you could have purple if you wanted or green. All right. We'll go back and be conservative and go with pink. All right. So that's your cheek color. And you notice it's kind of on the edge here, a little bit more here, a little bit here. So we'll pick this one. Okay. To have rosy cheeks. And we'll keep going down. And if you have a beauty spot, you can add a beauty spot. All right. So that's the skin. Then you go to hairstyle. And you've got lots of hairstyles again. So we're just going to scroll up and you'll see all the different hairstyles. Okay. All right. So see, even the guys can get into this. I'm going to go ahead and go down, and I'm going to pick one that has bangs, since I have bangs. Okay. So then now I have the hairstyle. Okay. Let's go to brows, and you can pick any brows that you want to. We're just going to go ahead and pick that. Yes. Question? Okay. All right. And then they have forehead mark, brow piercings. So if you have a piercing or you just want to have one for your emoji, you can. All right. So lots of options. And then we'll go over to eyes, and they have different eye colors. So you could do blue, go back to green, and then you can also change how vivid they are, how dark or how light. Okay. And then you can go to eyelashes, add eyelashes. You can add eyeliner if you wish. And you can add eyeshadow, and then the other thing is that you can change the color of the color of the eyeshadow. All different colors. Okay. So that's eyes. Now we're going to go to the head. And this one, if you notice that the shape of the head, or the vision of the head, they have an age. Okay. So I guess this one is the oldest one in the group. And I like to deny my age, so I'm going to go to this one. I don't need to have an old emoji. Okay. And then you can go with the shape of the face also. So whatever you think your face shape is. Okay. Next is noses. And you've got a little bit of variety there also. So we'll just pick one. And then, anybody have nose piercings? Raise your hand. No, nobody. All right. But you could for your emoji, nose piercings. And also they have oxygen tubes. So they've got us covered there also. All right. Let's go to mouth. And here we can select the mouth, and we can select the color that we want it to be. And then you can select your teeth. And if you have fangs, you've got the option of picking this one. Okay, so we'll just pick one. And then they have here again our mouth piercings and tongue piercings. So because at times you can actually show your tongue on some of them. So let's go to ears. You can go small, medium, or large.
No, I'll save it for next week.
And then you can also add earrings if you wish. And then they also have AirPods or hearing aids, I guess, also. All right. So you can do that. And then here we go with facial hair. You guys that have a mustache or a beard, you can add that. You can add sideburns. Okay, so you have options there. All right. And then eyewear. And you can do frames. You could pick some frames here. I'll pick these frames, though I don't really wear glasses. I'll pick those frames, you can see. And then you can actually do lenses. And, so if you look through life with rose-colored glasses, you could actually do that. Okay. You could go real 70s there. All right. Or you could just do that. or if, let's say, you don't have frames, you can go with no frames. Okay. And then also eye patch. So those of you that are getting cataract surgery, or those that have had it, you know that for a while you'll have an eye patch on. So you could choose an eye patch if you wish. All right. And then headwear. You can choose, you know, hats, any type of headwear there, and then also the face coverings. And then the last one is clothing. And here's the variety of clothes that you can pick. And I have to say, this is the first time I've noticed Maine. Let's see if we go red. Oh, okay. So you can change the color of the outfits. Okay. And then, second, I don't know what second is. And then third, I'm not sure. I hadn't seen that earlier. Whoops. Well, it went away. We'll go back. Okay, it was not ready for me to, let me go here. I'm going to go back to that one and edit it because I was in clothing. So, okay. So there is clothing. Sorry, I didn't look into what second and third were, but so we can choose something and then we can choose the outfit. Okay. And that is basically it. So I'm going to hit done. And then you notice that all the emojis that Apple has made just from that one, they've, you know, given it some personality, that they've used all the characteristics that I chose and made these emojis. Any questions at this point? Okay. All right. So then let's talk about how do you use them. So when you're in a message and you want to add an emoji, then you will just go to this line right here and go to the stickers. And when you tap on stickers, it will bring up that screen, and all you have to do is tap it and it will go into your message. And then you can just add a comment. And you can just send it. Okay. All right. So that's how you use it. Now let's say you don't like it after you've done it. So I've also put on that sheet how to delete them. So to delete them, you will open up the iMessage. You will go to your stickers, and then you will tap on one that you maybe don't want to keep, and you'll hit the More button right here. And this is where you can delete it. And it's gone. And then you hit done, and then you have just the emojis that you had before. Okay? Any questions? Okay, I will go ahead and stop sharing and move some things over. So, any questions for anybody else in the group? Okay.
Yes, I have a question for Joe. My phone does not come up with identification, and I looked and I've updated it to a 16 point something, but it's an iPhone X, so maybe it's getting too old. I know they're going to discontinue updates.
It's a possibility that was too old. If it's not, do you have location services turned on?
I may not.
That would do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, turn that on and then take a picture and try it. And that may solve the problem.
So I took a picture at the Computer Society just a few minutes ago, I was over there thinking you were going to be there, and then I realized wrong Thursday. So I came back home to watch here. There was an accident over there at the area. I took a picture. Motorcycle hit a car as it turned into the guy really got hurt, and ambulances and 4 police cars came to a search. And at any rate, I took a picture, and I used that a minute ago when you said scan up, but it didn't tell my location of where that was taken. And so I must have location not turned on. What do I need to do?
Go to your settings and location. Let me check here right quick.
All right.
Settings and oh dear.
I don't find that one
Oh dear.
here, but I know about that one.
Settings.
I think it's under privacy, Joe. It's under privacy.
Oh, privacy. Okay.
Privacy and security.
Yeah, and then at the top of the screen, you'll find location services. Mine says on, and once you set it on, you can set each different app how you want it to work. Most of mine, I set it so it only works when I'm using the app. The rest of the time, it's turned off. If I'm not using, for example, Amazon, they don't need to know where I am unless I'm using the app.
And Joe, doesn't that save a little bit of the battery too?
Yes, because it is out searching, trying to find where you are and keep, it's kind of it's not a huge drain, but it is some drain on the battery.
My location services is turned on, but for example, it didn't say I was on Moore Drive when I took that picture a few minutes ago.
When you open the picture at the top of the screen, in
let
Photos, open the picture.
me open the picture again. See. All right, here's a picture, and I push up. Oh shoot!
No, just look at the picture on the screen when you got the photograph there. Does it not say where it's from at the top?
No.
Okay, when I open my photos, and let me go to.
It says Lexington.
Okay.
Looks like it says Deerfield. DF.
Deerfield is the name of the community where CKC is. It's an old name. It's not really used anymore. But when I go over there and I search my photos for Deerfield, it'll show me every picture I took there at CKCS.
Okay. All right. That explains it. So it did tell me that. I was just curious.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I always say that if it says Deerfield, Jerry, you should be able to swipe up and it should have the information there.
Well, it tells me it's when it was taken. It gives me the image name, right angle. Oh, it does. It shows the location. If I move up.
Yes, you got to scroll all the way to the bottom.
I'm looking at the map that you all couldn't show me.
Yeah, it was on some of the screens I showed.
I know. I understand.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, let me show you real quickly if I can, if you don't mind. If you have photos on your Mac, can you see my photos?
Yes.
Like this was a camp in Pikeville, aviation camp. I click on a photo, I right click, get info. There we are. Tells you what I used to take it with, that kind of thing. Here's one in Louisville, Bowman Field. Click there, right click, get info. And on this one, it shows a map.
Wow.
I used my iPad to take this picture. It tells you, this is all the meta stuff behind the scene, when it was taken and the date. So if you happen to use a Mac and you've got one, click on the picture in Photos, open Photos, click on a photo, right click, get info, and then it shows you all. Here's in Pikeville. Well, that's a great map.
Yeah, Kurt, that's the same information you get on your iPhone.
Yes.
Mac, Apple, iPhone.
Identical.
And if you open the picture and slide up, you'll get very similar information to what you just showed there.
Yeah. Thank you.
one thing that's weird is this, I mean, the airport's not near the city, but it's kind of a weird map because it doesn't show, you know what I mean? I find that
So
kind
can
of
you,
interesting.
yeah, can you do that?
Of course, it's kind of rural. There's nothing really right around there. So maybe that's the reason.
Yeah.
There's
So
trees.
you scroll out and then you can see Prestonsburg and some of the larger or, similar sized communities. But a lot of people don't know that on their iPhones, on their iPads. Just find a picture, click on it, right click, get info. This is Bowling Green Camp. Date, I took it and all, like Joe knows very well, all shutter speed, f-stop, the whole 9 yards if you're into that, ISO, a map. It's really helpful if you're trying to find something, and it's built into photos. So I just thought I'd show that.
Yeah, great. Well, good. Any more questions for our panel?
There's also a note up here that I sent in the chat. Brookie, if you need a Wi-Fi analyzer for the iPad or the iPhone, there's a link there.
Perfect. I took a picture of it. So
Okay.
if you all want to capture that, just, go to chat and use your phone to take a picture.
Just click on the website that he sent you. It should open right up.
Yeah. Okay. But when we get out of here, so I'm going to go ahead and quit recording right now. I'm going to stop just because